word person on a bus. And before you get off at your stop, you found out that the word person's husband is divorcing her. They're going to court tomorrow. She's lost most of the house, and her child is sick, and she doesn't know who she's going to have to take. I mean, you'll find everything out about that word person. The action person, if you want knowledge from them, information, they will give you, because they are going to do a lot of research. They learn through knowledge. They're going to do a lot of research. They're going to study. They'll give you lots of details and facts if you ask them for it. But to ask them for a personal judgment or to ask them for a personal opinion, you will not get it. So this is what you're married to. Opposites. One person will be verbal. The tone of my voice upset him so much that it closed him down. And the more that he paid less attention to anything I asked and gave me all kinds of negative actions, the more I would yell. And the more I would scream, the further in he would go. The further in he would go, the further out I would go. Do you see what we do to each other? Till we totally close down communication. But we communicate so different that we don't understand the other person's method of communication. If you get love of conscience, that knowledge came to me from Swami, started when I was 31 years old. It is so helpful. So you will marry an opposite. I can guarantee all of you unmarried people, as well as married people, you finding this interesting? Huh? Are you? I've had people come to our classes that we've done these seminars. And I mean, I've had doctors come to me and say, my God, you've written all about me. You know everything about me. You know more about me than I know about me, myself. You'll find yourself in there very easy. And God did this to balance the whole universe. And it's fascinating because once you understand yourself and you understand your spouse, forgiveness comes. You look at the other person, you say, why can't I be like that? Why am I like this? Don't we do that? Don't we look at the other person and wish we could be like the other? You can't. It's a program that exists. It's like a computer chip, and that's the way we are. But once you learn this, and you can understand each other, not only does forgiveness come easily, but I've learned so much from him, and vice versa. And he's very diplomatic, his energy. And I have a problem. I had to confront somebody. I would go to this energy, this man's energy, the action energy, and say, how would you say this so that it doesn't offend that person? And he was teaching me all these years as I was teaching him to be more of an action person. Not an action person, but a doer person. The action people takes them longer. They're procrastinators. It takes them longer to move and do something. So we balanced each other. Marriage is a challenge, meet it. Communication's critical. That's the number one thing. You've got to sit and communicate, and even if it's asking each other about sports or whatever it is, talk to each other. Go out and spend time together. If it's a picnic park in the afternoon, if you can only give each other an hour or hour and a half or 2 hours a week, spend time together. Sacrifice is critical. Women's nature is, their gift is sacrifice. They know how to sacrifice in the home a lot easier than the male ego does. And the men have to learn from the women. They have to learn that they have to sacrifice their time outside the home and help more in the home. It takes both parents today. And young adults did a scene, and I want to explain it to you. The question was, how can I balance my Sai activities with my family activities? And they were boys. So 2 boys got down on the floor on all fours. One was the father and one was the mother. The 3rd child was a child, the 3rd boy. So the 3rd boy got up on the backs of the 2 on the floor. Now they said, when the mother and father are together, it's very stable for the child. If their relationship is good and strong and firm, it's very good for the child. The one boy moved like this aside, and the child in the back fell through the crack and across the floor. And the young adult said, if the mother and father are not together, the child falls through the crack. Do you think anyone there will ever forget that visual that they made? Huh? I certainly haven't. That's why it's critical, and it takes love. We all know Swami's love. Go, honey. Selfless love is the object, and self-realization is the goal. The whole object of marriage, it's the laboratory that teaches us to have a union with God. Our goal is merging with our Lord. That's self-realization. In our relationship in the home, if we compromise and give and sacrifice to each other, it is practicing what we have to do with God. Right? We have all kinds of desires that get in our way with God. We have all kinds of attachments, all sorts of things that get in our way. So Swami gives men and women the very first institution, which is marriage. The very first institution God gave to man was marriage, for the purpose of preparing him for his union with God. Okay, now, are these guys ready for the next task?
Oh, I think so.
You think so? Huh?
Yeah.
All right.
On each table, there's been 2 sheets of paper, and if you need more, there's pens back there, and there's also some quotes from Swami. Now, what you're going to do, you've all picked a subject to work on, an issue and concern. You've all written a question as each group. So now what you have to do is present a program on how to solve it. Okay? So you have an hour to do this. So what you have to do is come up with at least 3 solutions to your question. And you have to reinforce your own solutions with some of Swami's quotes, whether it's 1 quote or 2 quotes, whatever, to reinforce yours. And so you can do role plays, you can do anything you want to do to be creative in order to come up with a presentation. So after you create your presentation, you'll go to dinner, and then we'll all come back in here as a group
And watch the show.
We got 9 presentations. Try to keep them to 5 minutes, which will run about an hour.
And try to use everybody in the group.
Yeah.
If somebody's really shy,
have them read the quote.
yeah, so that
Okay.
everybody can participate a little bit.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions? The instructions are written on the back of your program.
Yeah.
Does
You have-
everybody understand what the duty and charge is here? Huh? Okay?
Okay,
Have
you have
fun.
right about an hour, so have fun. If you want to go out in the hallways and practice role plays to get out of the way, go ahead and do it.